Hello, hello, hello. This is an African Starseed reading for Lightbringers. My name is Sana, and I created the African Starseed Oracle deck. Now, it does say that, even though it's backward like a mirror image. But anyway, this is the African Starseed Oracle deck, and I created it. And guess what? You can get the deck for a cheaper price now because I self-published. And so what I did was I did a second printing. And with the second printing, you actually don't get the booklet, but you get the Oracle deck cheaper. And I send you a PDF version of the booklet. So let me know how that works out. I think it'll work out good. So anyway, I'm going to shuffle the cards. I just finished doing an online reading with a woman, so my space is cleared, and just want to see what is the message for Lightbringers today. And these cards were inspired by some of my spirit guides, and some of my spirit guides are the Arcturians, who are guiding a lot of people spiritually. They're guiding many people on the planet spiritually. My ancestors, one of whom is my brother, who is in the ancestral realm. And so, hey, how's it going? So good to see you. How you doing, boo? You still in North Carolina? Yeah, so anyway, so this is the African Starseed Oracle deck. And so there's messages from Sirius, from the Arcturians. I'm also connected to Andromeda. But these messages are basically Kemet, Lemuria, Arcturus, Sirius. Yes. Okay, good. Nice to hear. See you still in North Carolina. All right, so let me shuffle the cards a little bit and see what is on deck for us to share today. Say, Shet, do you want me to pull a card for you? Ooh, I think a card just came out for you. The card flew out. A couple of cards flew out for you. Okay, these two cards came out when I asked if I should pull a card for you. These two cards, one is elevation. It's time to level up. It's time to level up. And then the other is shadow work and examine your motivations. All of us are dealing with subconscious behaviors and beliefs. And especially if you're on the priestess path, it's a process of constant pruning. So we come forward and okay, good. I'm glad you saw the email. So as a priestess or someone who's doing healing work, we come forward and we have to continuously kind of refresh ourselves, upgrade and reflect on who it is we're being and what it is we're thinking and feeling, and whether or not what we're thinking and feeling is reminiscent or is what we really want to share in the world based on who we currently are, because we're constantly in a state of upgrade, especially right now. There are a lot of portals, especially in the summer, a lot of portals, and so it's important for us to stay focused and to kind of go underneath and excavate what it is, what our true motivations are, what we're thinking and feeling, whether it's with our business and our clients or it's in our personal lives. And then the other thing is, the other card was it's time to level up. This is the second time today this card has come up. And I did shuffle. I shuffled the deck. I put it all together and I shuffled it. So it's time to level up. Where in your life are you playing small? Where in your life do you really know that you could be so much brighter, show up so much more fully than you are now? But showing up fully, I mean, all of us are elevating. All of us are integrating new energy frequencies. And so all of us are being called to level up and to really step forward and use your particular gifts, your unique genius to help those in your sphere to live and breathe and have their being in the center of their power, whether it's men, women, or children, whoever you work with. Okay, so that was for you, dear one. For you, dear ones, I'm gonna shuffle again and see what else you want to share for the collective. And this reading is relevant no matter when you see this. If you see this, if you feel drawn to this video, it's still really, you're welcome, darling. You're still it's still relevant for you. So I'm gonna pull one more card, make it an even 3. See what else we wants to be shared for the whole collective. Okay. Oh, this is the second time this card came up too. Two cards, two of the same cards came up today. So in the reading that I did earlier, this Kemet card came up and the elevation card came up. So you know Kemet is an ancient civilization. So, and I know you know about it. I don't know. Are you still with me? Sekhmet, are you still with me? So I know you know about Kemet. And I know you know about, you want to come on live? Where are you? Okay, you want to come on? You want to tell us about Sekhmet? You want to come on? Okay, so Sekhmet was one of the Kemetic deities. And hey, hey sis, yeah. So this is so wonderful, so unplanned, but I'm glad you're
Right.
here because this card on Kemet came up. This is the second time today since I've been doing the reading, the elevation card and
Hmm.
the card on Kemet. Now, for me, in the before times, for me, this card, when I put this card in the deck, it meant that that it's important for you when you see this card
Hmm.
to research and acknowledge and learn and integrate some of the sacred practices from ancient civilizations. Because one of the things we're here to do, I did a video on YouTube that I just posted a couple of days ago. And one of the things that the Arcturians are helping us to remember in our dream time is ancient civilizations and some of the practices that were present in ancient civilizations
Hmm.
that we need now to help us to ascend.
Yes.
So, so tell us about Sekhmet and how it's related to Kemet.
Oh, yes. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Sister Sana. Appreciate you. You have been a great influence in my life as my first belly dance teacher.
Yay!
Appreciate you. um, so yes, Sekhmet. Yeah, the mythology of Sekhmet is she's the goddess of war, the goddess of healing. I feel like she's a misunderstood goddess, right?
Because
Because
you gotta come in and break all that stuff up. You know,
I
a lot
know,
of
right?
times we got stuff in ourselves that needs to be broken up, and you
That's
need that
true.
warlike energy to break it up.
Yes, yes, I'm so happy you said that. Exactly. Yeah. So, right. That's divine healing, right? Because that's the healing journey. You kind of got to get through the up to get to the beauty. So, Sekhmet, she enforces the laws of Ma'at. So that's the goddess that restores back balance and order.
Mm. And
So,
how does Sekhmet show up in your life?
yeah, that's a great question. So it correlates with the deity. So the deities, you're familiar with the tree of life and like the deities.
Yeah, tell us about the tree. Tell us about the tree of, if you whatever you want to share, because some people may not know anything.
Oh yes, yes, definitely.
I
I
mean, I
always
know there's a lot to share. We're not going to be here a long time, but just kind
okay.
of summarize whatever you feel comfortable summarizing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I always said if I was to start even with children, spirituality 101, I start with the tree of life, because they're
Mm-hmm.
expressions of the creator. It's a way for like children to even understand aspects of as much as our human mind can grasp of what the creator is, right? Like we're gonna have limitations, but so what that's what the construct of the deities and the tree of life is to help us understand aspects of the creator's nature. So Seker, if you like research like the tree of life and you look at the deities, you'll see like the that little 8 spear, and then on the higher spear they have Seker. So that's the deity. That's the female consort of Tahuti. So she deals with growth and development. So like our higher chakras. right? Like ascension. So that's so Sekhmet is a creation out of that deity, like that energy of what keeps us, you know, afloat with the universe. And you know, orgasm, we talking about orgasm, right? So we're talking about like the higher spheres though of consciousness and orgasmic energy to renew and rebirth and transform. So
That
yeah.
is so cool because you know the other card that I pulled for for the person today was the Yogini card. And
Oh,
you know the Yogini, you
I
know,
have never heard of yogini.
the Yogini are from in this a term from India,
Mm,
and they were the tantrikas,
mm,
the people who were, you know, engaged in um, not just sacred sex, but also the healing benefits of the divine feminine as, and because really orgasm is our way to recall our connection to the creator,
yeah,
call that connection to creation, and that's why children are birthed out of orgasm, out of this joy, just this pleasure,
yeah.
and and so the yogini were dancers. They were connected to the root chakra. They were healers,
Mm,
oracles, and so this card, sacred sensual pleasure,
mm.
is, you know, when I talk about sacred sensual pleasure, and that's something that I'm meaning to, that I'm calling forth in my life to have to. Ooh, is this too much information? But you know what? This is the next phase of growth and evolution and expansion for me,
Mm,
because a lot of things happened when I was younger that have kind of shut me down. And so I was faced as I was sitting outside this weekend. I was given the opportunity to
mm,
examine this particular concept,
mm,
like, so that I can heal and expand and be able to experience more pleasure. And,
mm-hmm.
and sacred sensual pleasure is can be sexual, but it can also be connection to the earth and
Yeah,
connection to anything. Any of our tactile senses can give us sacred sensual pleasure, because any creation, any plant, any ant, anything on earth is a sacred creation.
yes,
So when we can connect, not just in our tactile senses, but also with our intuitive senses, then we can experience the sacred sensual,
yeah.
and really experience the orgasmic pleasure of creation.
Yeah, I love that. I just have a personal question for you, Sanaa. Just a sister to sister. I just always appreciate. I sit and just listen to you. I do every time we're together. But what do you feel like your ultimate goal is for the sensual part, and also when like your goal is when you purpose on this planet in which you want to accomplish leaving the earth?
Oh wow, okay. So there is multi-layered,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things I said recently on that last video was, like, as a earthbound ambassador, as a star seed,
Mm-hmm.
as a light bringer,
Mm-hmm.
um, my goal is to reconnect with ancient practices, bring them to this life to help us to ascend. Ascension really means understanding ourselves more completely.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are understanding ourselves in a multitude of ways. And so there's not one particular way.
Yeah.
As far as the um, sensuality, like, I belly dance and I love belly dance, and I brought that as something that I do, but it was really a challenge for me to
Mm,
bring belly dance forward, because I because of the way sensuality and
hmm.
sexuality are viewed in this society.
Yeah.
In my past life recollection of belly dance, it was the dance of the priestess. And
Mm,
sensuality, sexuality was not considered separate. You didn't have to be unsexual, non-sexual in order to be sacred. Like, that
right.
sexuality, the sensuality, the voluptuousness was all a part of it.
Yeah.
And and I have to be honest, in this life, I've had some challenges in really integrating that.
Mm.
challenges in integrating because I found myself constantly saying, "Well, it's not this, it's not that," and also kind of trying to hold myself as a priestess, as a sacred woman, um,
Right.
and sometimes that has gotten in the way of really being this full expression of
Right.
the divine. And the divine, especially just recently, was telling me when I said, I'm open to a new vision of what the Creator would express through me, and the Creator was out there belly dancing and stuff. That's what the Creator wants. That's part of what how the Creator wants to experience life through me in
Right.
this incarnation.
Right.
And so I have some things to clear. And
Mm.
some of the things are things that happen in my personal life. A lot of the things are things that have happened to the feminine, to the divine feminine, during creation the last few hundred years, and how the patriarchy has programmed people
Mm.
to disconnect from their natural senses, their natural sacred sexual aspect. And
Yeah.
so that's a part of the reason why we have so much dysfunctional sexuality
Mm.
that's harmful to people, and people using sexuality as a tool of war, rape
Right.
as a tool of war. And
Mm.
so I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna get into this past life regression, and I'm trying to kind of set that
Mm.
sensual set that sensual melodious part aside. But it's like, no, no, no. Hold up, wait a minute. This is what my spirit guides are telling me. That's not the thing. So, um, I still love belly dance, and I'm in the process of going through some healing. So
Yeah, that's
it's
beautiful.
just,
Yeah, I just really, yeah, I would say, I don't get to talk to you as much about it, but I mean, you were my first belly dance teacher, and that really helped open me up to where I even am today. I was seeking, I was going on my spiritual path. I had just graduated college, and then I started reading a feminine book, Awakening Master Feminine, and in there it's talking about belly dance. And I was in Detroit. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna find a belly dancer, and then you and I crossed paths, and it was very in alignment. And that has where I am today. I still have a hip scarf. I still, I haven't been practicing it more, but it always stuck with me. Like even when I moved to North Carolina, I found another belly dancer out here. And my preference, of course, is always going to be a black woman, but also who knows the history and the roots of belly dance, right? And that's like a part of like the sister that I met here. She started off similar to how you started off yours. Like belly dance came from ancient Kemet, and so she, that's how she started it. And so I resonate with that. And it's helped me on my femininity journey. Like seriously, like
yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have you in my life this year.
Wonderful. That's so wonderful. And so you're doing some things around sexuality right now, aren't you?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, yeah, because that's how it would segue me into learning Tantra and becoming a Tantra practitioner, which is my purpose. And I would have never known that had I not started moving right my lower chakras, in belly dance. I was very disconnected from that, you know.
Hmm. Wow. So you're a tantric practitioner now?
Yes, that's true. Yes, so I received my certifications in 2019, and and I also teach it. So now I also help people become certified in Tantra Tier 1 and Tier 2. So that's
Nice.
hands-on Tantra and hands-off because we want hands-free orgasms. So yes, so my journey had to go very fast to say the least.
Oh, that is so wonderful. That's so
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, make sure you send your information. I think I saw something about a class you were doing, but send it to me and like send me the actual if when you're having something, send it so I can share it. Yeah.
Okay,
And
yes,
so like
okay.
that I can or email it to me so I'll be happy to share the information, with
Okay.
with my community because that sounds wonderful.
Yes. Well, what about you? What about you, Sana? Have you delved into the Tantra realm or interested?
I have. I actually, so my presentation or my orientation to Tantra was through Feng Shui. I studied Black Hat sect Tantric Buddhist Feng Shui, and so Tantra is, in that field of study, Tantra is really the interconnection that the central interconnection that we have with the energy of everything in our environment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's and I mean, and I do have a practice that I do for myself. I was
Hmm.
told I was supposed to teach it, but I have a practice. I have a meditation practice, a tantric like meditation practice. I haven't studied tantra formally,
Hmm.
so I'm not out here trying to say that I have and trying to teach that. But there's a practice that I use for myself though, which I know I actually saw myself and I believe in that life. That's where the card came from. I was a yogini or a tantrika
Hmm.
who was in the and where the orgasm and the sacred pleasure was really more of a ritual and was for the community, and the energy that came from the
Yeah.
orgasm was something that um, because that orgasm, you know, opens up the pineal gland and
Hmm.
the third eye, and
Hmm.
also connects to the earth. So there were people designated in the community who who had a particularly large energy field, and whose
Hmm.
presence, and when they had their orgasm, it was something that helped to um, energize the entire community and the earth. At least this is what I got in my through my meditation, when I had this glimpse of this that particular life that I may have lived, and so that's my orientation to it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, it's a very deep science. But Tantra, it can definitely that practice itself will virtually change the planet, right? Because we're talking about men and women being able to have higher forms of intimacy. And we know that's what's wrong with society, right? We're getting further and further away from men and women even relating and understanding each other. So Tantra it's a whole, powerful thing where, words just don't do it. Energy work, orgasm, healing, through the opposite sex of these type of practices, that's what's gonna help elevate the planet in the next phase of where we're going. So that's kind of how I got on board, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have a choice, but I was
You,
all
what do you mean you didn't have a choice?
when you just get pulled into something. I would have never thought I'd be doing something like this. I just never thought, yeah, no. I
Oh well,
never
yeah,
thought.
they don't teach this in the teacher training in the teacher training class, right?
Yeah, they didn't teach this to any of my biology classes. So, yeah, I was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, yeah. See, this is another example of how important it is for us to reclaim these sacred practices from ancient times and bring them
Yeah.
here and make them relevant to us here, so that we can be our full selves and that we can heal. And so many things have happened over lifetimes. Now, do you think you may have been some type of sexual healer in another life?
Yes, yes. So I've definitely received confirmation about my first incarnations here on planet Earth, my bloodline, how I enslaved my own bloodline, um, through ego and then karmic debt I've had to, pay off through incarnations, and so I'm here today to finish, my human incarnations. And so, but I don't beat myself up about it, because I know, like the spirit say, that's the whole purpose of you being on this planet, was to learn lessons, and you're going to collect debt as a result of that,
Yeah,
karmic debt. Yeah.
yeah, and we're here. That's what we came into this life. So many of us have come into this life to process through the karmic
Yeah.
debt that we've had. Now, how did you learn about those other incarnations?
Yeah. Okay. So, I have oracle abilities. So they talk directly to me. But my my pathway there has been through orgasm, of course, having male tantra practitioners who work on me healing it, and as it has been told to me, and I'm gonna keep passing it down to women: if a man hurts you, a man gonna have to heal you. Right, so that's what happened with me. So
Mm,
so I had to kind of heal those channels for the masculine, to come through, and I can receive, the information that I need, as much as my own harmony is with the divine masculine.
yeah. Wow. That's deep.
It's so deep.
That's
Yeah.
deep. So how do you think that will happen? Well, I guess um, to tell you the truth, so much healing can happen that it doesn't have to necessarily be sexual. Like for an example, um, I don't know if I should say this. Um,
And I'm listening, so now I just need to grab my charger, but I'm listening.
okay, well, that's okay. I probably shouldn't say this anyway. Probably shouldn't say. I probably shouldn't say it because I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. It's okay for me to share, but I don't want to share other people's information. And so the guy, but I recently had someone who came
Uh-huh.
from like way back who actually did heal
Mm.
something in me from like that I didn't even know really needed to be healed.
Mm.
I didn't even know it needed to be healed. And so, yeah, and I think it was such a beautiful gift and such a
Wow.
generous gift for him to come and apologize the way he did.
Hmm.
So I think the healing can come.
Yeah.
It definitely can sexually too, but I think just the acknowledgement that that someone who harmed you will acknowledge it and apologize for it.
Oh, yeah, that's deep. That is deep. I agree. I mean, I agree that healing definitely can happen through different channels. That's really, really powerful.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad we connected. We should continue this conversation again sometime. I started a new podcast, my third.
Oh, I'm gonna have to take a look. Okay,
Yeah, so I'm
awesome.
still getting it out and still getting it out in the world. And so basically, and really, I'm kind of combining some of the videos that I put on YouTube,
Hmm.
and then I'm also doing some just straight audio podcasts.
Okay.
So that's my preference. Audio is my preference.
Okay.
Even though I know
Audio's your
audio
preference.
is not I know video is the thing right now. Video is the hot thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm so glad we connected, and I am so glad to hear that you are teaching Tantra. That's good. When is your next class?
Yes. So it will be likely sometime. I haven't scheduled it out for this month yet.
Right.
But the chakras of lovemaking class, that's the class it is. And then I just need to make sure I get the date right for everybody who has been, attending the prerequisites to learn the information, for the class. But right now, what I'm doing is just purpose readings. So that's delving into the system that I deal with the I Ching and Bagua. So that's what
Oh,
I'm doing this week. So
oh, really? Yeah, I know the I Ching and the Bagua. That's what I learned in the Black Hat sect Tantric Buddhism. So,
okay.
that's part of Feng Shui. So, that's really cool. That's really cool because actually, I'm launching um, a purpose service too, where I can help people with their purpose. So,
Okay.
it's going to include all the different systems that I use to help hone in on my purpose.
I love that.
And so yeah, I need to get that up on the website. But if y'all hear about this video, you're interested, hit me up, and and we can get it moving. We can get it moving. When are you coming back to Detroit to visit?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel I'm doing so much right here. I'm building a community.
Of
so
course.
so that's taking some time. I'm thinking within the next 3 to 4 months, hopefully.
Hmm.
It's been really hard. It's hard, but I have to build. I'm being called to build community here, so that's what I'm doing. But it
Yeah, you
is
build community,
challenging.
but you can come back for a weekend. You can come back to Detroit for a weekend. You can't just totally set us down.
That's true.
Talking about I'm building community in North Carolina. I can't come back to Detroit for a visit.
No, I am. No, seriously, I am. And that's crazy how in whatever way me and you stay intertwined. So I know I'm gonna see you again in person, likely when I come back to Detroit. Probably come to a belly dance class.
Yeah. Well, I'm
But
actually putting together a summit too, and I want to have you on it. So to maybe
oh,
at the end of the year, I have the summit going. The summit is a part of the Amalulu Priestess Activation Circle for
mm,
women who are, because a lot of women who are called to do healing work are drawn to me, and
Mm.
and then I had several people who wanted mentorship. So I put together this program, and then with the program, you can get a discount. Not you, but people can get a discount on
Yeah.
the quantum healing hypnosis session, which is like a 6 hour session, the Reiki certification, and then you can
Okay.
either do 3 months. I mean, 3 sessions, three private coaching sessions, or 6 group coaching sessions, and then I'll put together the promotional materials for the summit. And then everybody will be featured on the summit, and then so that way we can all kind of grow our businesses and
Okay.
and then the people who kind of need to be launched, need some assistance being launched, can have my assistance because I'm really good at really pushing other people and pushing them into their into their work and kind of activating and unleashing some
Yeah.
ancient leanings and just being able to
Yeah.
support people and acknowledge them as they're on their sacred path. So yeah. So anyway, even if you're not in the circle, maybe you can be a part of the summit.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, absolutely. Anytime I feel, if I'm connected, like I said, that segment energy. If I feel drawn with it, like with you, then I know like you're solid with everything that you do. Meaning, like I know that you operate with the utmost integrity. I know that everything that you do, is sound and for everyone's benefit. Like the group collective, that when people, women come around and they're, seeking their higher purposes. That's all I ever felt from you. So. I
Oh,
definitely want to
wonderful!
stay,
Thank you.
yeah, I definitely want to stay, connected with you and, whatever way we can, connect on that realm, definitely.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, for the
Uh,
summit. Okay. Well, you said that's
yeah.
gonna be in what month is that? You're gonna do that?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I put it out there. I have one person who's in the program who has already done her Reiki certification and the past life regression, and so we're gonna do some coaching with her, and I'm actually gonna be trying out a wraparound service for the quantum healing hypnosis, where where along with the hypnosis we can do some shadow work and
Okay.
some other things that can help people to integrate and land the shift
Um.
so that you can live in the center of your power, because sometimes you activate things, and sometimes during the quantum healing hypnosis, many times during the session, you
Mhm.
can have major shifts, major changes,
Right.
and then once you have that change, then other things um, becomes illuminated so that you can heal those other things too. So,
Mm. Okay.
um, and that's what happens with the Reiki too. Once you become attuned to Reiki, stuff just starts to kind of like that house of cards that you had built.
Mhm.
When you start to channel that Reiki energy, it starts to wobble those cards and say, okay, you really need to put a firm foundation. So it
Mhm.
can look like a dark night of the soul. So,
Right. Okay, see, and that's what I say. Like Reiki, people who are in Reiki work, it coincide really well with Tantra. So,
hmm
yeah, because Tantra encompasses Reiki. It actually
hmm
encompasses many different ancient healings in one. Yeah, like heart work, sexual energy chamber, and Reiki energy work. It encompasses all. It's literally all of it. It's so powerful. So,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I do individual trainings too. So I do
okay.
individual trainings, and like I said, because getting people to get one date, sometimes can be challenging. So I'm right now just doing the trainings, and then I'll probably be getting the chakras of lovemaking class probably this upcoming month, maybe the end of July, or definitely by August we're gonna have the next class.
Well, you have to be in the divine timing too. So,
Yes,
sometimes sexuality is so personal. So,
yes,
maybe individual sessions
yes.
are
So
the way
that's
to go. hmm
exactly that's what
Every
I.
now and then you can have some things for people who are more comfortable talking about that in a group.
Yes, I mean it's so important. I came from an organization, a spiritual community where we did have the groups, right? We had the classes. I know how vulnerable and intimate these spaces are, and so if I'm just called to take that blueprint and now build a community out of it, it's taking me time, right? I'm working up there, So I have been doing the trainings, but the goal is to get us in community, like instead of it being like one-on-one trainings. Right now, I'm just doing that, until I can get up to that point where we're doing the community part, where we're putting out the top, massage tables, and we're men and women, we're practicing the techniques together in community.
Okay. Now, where did you study?
Yeah, so I studied from Grand Trine International. So they're based out in Lithonia, Georgia. So my teacher was Master Yao Morris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's wonderful. So yeah, we'll stay in touch,
Okay.
and hope everything's going well for you and your boo, and in your community and your family. And if ever you do make it back to Detroit for a visit, you know, reach out to me. Let's see if we can connect.
Okay, that sounds good, Sanaa. I appreciate
Okay.
you, sis.
All right. All right. Thanks so much for coming on, and thanks for sharing.
Oh, absolutely. All right.
Okay. All right.
All
Peace.
right. Okay.
Okay. Well, that was an impromptu interview. I love it, love it, love it. All right. So, if you would like to get your own African Starseed Oracle deck, you can go to either my Etsy store, which is The Center of Her, or to my website, which is Sanaa, Sanaa, green.com, SANAAGREEN.com. So, thank you so much for connecting. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Let's see, what does Michael Beckwith say? Peace and I forgot what he says, but anyway, it's something like that. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to everyone. All right.